There's a person you've already met, maybe at a party, a meeting, a coffee shop. They weren't the loudest, they weren't the most attractive, they didn't try to impress anyone, and yet you couldn't stop thinking about them afterward. Most people chalk it up to chemistry, to luck, to personality, but Robert Greene spent years studying why this actually happens, and what he found changes how you see every social interaction you've ever had. This isn't about romance, it's about something far more fundamental, the ability to make people feel something in your presence. That is the single most transferable skill in human life. It affects your relationships, your career, the way strangers treat you in a room. And here's what most people don't realize. It's not a gift you're born with, it's a psychology you can understand. Starting right now. Every person you meet is carrying something invisible, a hunger, not for food, not even for love exactly, for the feeling of being truly seen. Think about that. Most people go through their entire day performing, saying what's expected, acting how they're supposed to, and underneath all of that, they're waiting for someone to actually notice them. The seducer in Greene's framework is someone who feeds that hunger, not with flattery, not with attention-seeking, but with a kind of presence that says, I see you, the real you. And the moment someone feels that, they don't want to walk away. Here's where most people make the mistake. They think more attention equals more attraction, so they text constantly. They're always available. They over-explain, overshare, over-give. And it never works the way they expect, because here's the uncomfortable truth. Constant attention kills desire. What the brain finds irresistible isn't quantity, it's quality. One moment of complete, undivided presence, where you're fully there, no phone, no distraction, just locked in. That does more than 100 casual interactions. Casanova didn't seduce women by being everywhere. He seduced them by making each woman feel, for that one moment, like she was the only person in the world. That's the difference. Your brain hates incompletion. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished things stay in your mind longer than finished ones. The seducer understands this instinctively. They never give everything at once. They say something intriguing, then stop. They reveal a layer, then pull back. They create a moment, then let it breathe. And in that space they leave behind, the other person fills it with curiosity, with imagination, with projection. Here's the thing most people miss entirely. Mystery isn't about being cold or difficult. It's about being interesting enough that people need to return. Like a book you can't put down, not because it answers everything, but because it keeps asking the right questions. Greene discovered something that sounds almost too simple. The deepest human desire isn't to be loved for who you are. It's to be seen as who you wish you were. Every person carries an idealized version of themselves, the bolder self, the freer self, the self that finally feels understood. The seducer becomes a mirror for that version, not through false compliments, but through genuine recognition of qualities others overlook. You notice what nobody else bothers to notice. You name something in someone that they've never heard named before. And in that moment, you're not just another person in the room. You become the person who understood them. And if you're honest, you know how rare that feeling actually is. You know how much it meant the last time someone made you feel that way. This next part is the one that makes people uncomfortable because it contradicts everything we're told about connection. Greene found again and again that the most magnetic people in history shared one trait. They had a life that didn't need you in it. Not arrogance, not coldness, just genuine wholeness, their own purpose, their own direction, their own world. And when you try to enter that world, you realize it has to be earned. That's where desire is born, not in the chase, in the value of what's being chased. We want what seems worth wanting, and someone who is fully invested in their own life, who isn't orbiting around your approval, signals something to the brain immediately. This person has value. You feel it before you can explain it. all the history, the psychology, the patterns, Greene arrives at the same place every time. The foundation of real seduction isn't a tactic, it's self-possession, the ability to walk into a room and not need anything from it, to speak without seeking validation, to listen without performing, to be interested genuinely without being desperate. That quality, that quiet, unshakable sense of self is what every technique in Greene's work is ultimately pointing toward. Because you can study all the psychology in the world, but if you're still running on insecurity underneath, people feel it. The most seductive thing you can ever develop isn't a skill. It's the feeling deep in your bones. I am enough, and I don't need to prove it. Robert Greene didn't write about seduction to teach games. He wrote about it to show what most people spend their whole lives avoiding, the work of becoming someone truly worth knowing, not performing it, being it. That's what changes how people treat you. That's what changes how rooms feel when you enter them. That's what changes everything. If you understand people, you move differently in life. Subscribe for more.